So, the Wells Fargo Express thing is messing up. I don't know, I ain't figured it out yet. So, I'm gonna go try to figure out a different way to send money from America to here. Do my bank here. So, I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. I'm gonna try an alternative way. Because I don't want to use my, if you use your ATM card, it's like $5 on this side, $5 on that side, and you can only get $200. So it's $10 charge every $200 you get. So that's not a good scenario. So it's like, just to have the budget for a month, it's like $70, $80 charge, service charge. So that's an enormous amount, really. And before, we only, for $3,000, you can just send, with Express Send, it's only $4. So it's a really good deal. And it worked for a year, and now all of a sudden it doesn't. But I just heard something about you can't use any operating system, you gotta use Chrome. I just tried to switch it over, but I don't know. And then, I talked to the Global Remittance Center, and 3 times my call has dropped already, and, you can't get the business done, right? So, I'm on my way to San Jose to go to the bank. You open up a bank account there is basically what I'm going to do, because I got an ACR card. You got to have an ACR card in the Philippines as a foreigner to open up a bank account, most of the time. I hear there's places where you can do it, but it's nowhere near where I'm at. So look at that sky, big sky. Anyway, it's supposed to rain today. I hope we can get down here and get back before that happens. So that's it. That's what 62 is doing. Let's hit the road, Jack, and don't look back. This is a view of all the fresh vegetables and fruit in the Philippines. They got a lot of variety. It's a tropical nation, so they got plenty of fruit and vegetables. They got a great variety. Everything you can think of. And they got plenty of other stuff over here too. Dragon fruit. Pears and apples. Pineapples over there. Oh yeah, the pineapples here are really good. They got prepared stuff. Mango. Pomelo. Devout pomelo. Devout pomelo. Then we got Soging Lacatan. That's what's in my yard right here. These right here are growing and they look really good. The kind that mom likes. This is Sabah. This is literally both of the banana trees that I have in my yard. Like that and like that. Melon. It's all good. Then there's even more down here. Oh yeah. Papaya. Red lady papaya. All right. So, like I said earlier in the video, Express Send, it's a feature of global remittance, where you can send money to several countries. And it's through Wells Fargo Bank, and I don't know if it's through any other bank, but I guess they changed their operating system over to Chrome or something like that, Google Chrome. and I had Firefox the whole time. So I tried to switch it over to Chrome, but you know, I had a backup phone number from the US that no longer is good as my security measure, and it would never send me to my email. It got stuck on the phone number thing. So I got an American phone number and got a code sent back from that and punched that in, but then I got on Google Chrome finally, and it still didn't work. So I'm not sure what's going on. They said there's no block on their end, so I'm just not sure what's happening. So that's why I went to San Jose today, and I found out I got a list of the hoops you got to jump through to be able for you know, an expat to open up a bank account. You need a barangay clearance. You know, you need a bill with your name on it. Your barangay clearance is to verify that you have a residence in the barangay. Then you need an ACR card, which you get when you get on the probationary 13A visa and you're on your probationary period. They issue you a ACR card, with alien registration card or something like that. Anyway, and then you need a 1x1 photo, ACR card, barangay clearance, then a bill with your name on it, printed out, and you need US dollars. I'm going to open up a US account so I can just write a check from here and deposit it, and it takes 30 days, 20 to 30 days to clear, they said. And then once it clears, you know, then every 30 days I will just put in another one to be able to collect my check and everything from Social Security. So that's something that's a lot more stable, I think, but I still want to figure out the global remittance, because otherwise the only other option for me would be go back to the US and open that back up again, which, why would I do that when they already closed it down for no reason? So I don't know why I would use that again. But if I can do it from here, I would do it, because outside of those two options, the only other option I have is to use my debit card, which they would charge, and you can only get $200 at a time. So, so, you know, for the budget, you know, you'd have to get 4 times to get the budget for 1 month. You'd have to go to the ATM 4 times. So that would be 4 times, it's $10 every time. Well, let me see, you'd have to go 5 times minimum, or 6. You probably have to go 6 times to get the $200, to get that much to cover everything, you know, the budget for running the house and the miscellaneous and all that. So that'd be $10 a pop, so $60 just to get $1,200. That's a heck of a fee to pay. You're only going to get $200. It's going to be $10, really. So I don't want to do that, because I'm frugal. I will do it if I have to, but I'm not going to choose to go down that path. The way I'm doing it now is actually the cheaper way than I was doing it before, because Express Send, you could only send $10,000 a month, which might be the case for this also. You know, you can send over $10,000 a month, but it triggers, you know, the IRS to check into what, you know, are you a drug runner or whatever. And I'd rather just stay below that. So Express Send will only allow you to send a little less than $10,000 a month. And then in any rolling 30 days, you can only send 3 times. And then so we sent 2,999, which is as much as you can send in one send. So basically, really, you can only send 9,000. So that stays under the 10,000, which is a good thing. And it costs $4 to send that 3,000 bucks. So there you go. That's we had to do that when I was building the house. We had to do that 3 times a month. So, but with the check thing, I could just get one whack. It's $5. So that's $5 to get, send 9,000 if you needed it. So there you go. Just an update on what can happen. They can just cut your money supply off the supply line from your bank to here. All it takes is one, I don't want to say, one mentally challenged bank employee to hit the wrong key, and then that's the end of your supply line. So then what are you going to do? Fly back to the other side of the world just to straighten out, because sometimes you got to show up in the branch. There's no branch outside the United States for Wells Fargo. So update. And take it easy from 62 to freedom. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and click the thanks. Hit the super thanks. Or if you want like a t-shirt or a coffee cup, hit the more ... in the description down there, and another screen will pop up and you'll see baby blue hyperlink. Click on that and go to the 62 to freedom store. Get your coffee cup, some jogging pants, a jacket, stuff like that. And the girl's jogging pants is kind of like a gag gift, so gag your girl and buy her a pair of jogging pants, and you'll see what I mean when you go click and go into the store. All right, later. So we're at the Barangay Hall right now, and I came to get a clearance for so I'd never been here before. It's just I didn't even know it was here. They got a water tower right there. They got a colorful rock wall right there. And that looks like a generator right there. All right. It's a bigger generator right there. Woo. Hey, they got a nice generator, Mom. They got a big one right here. It's a lot better than ours. Yeah, George and I were just talking about, the idea of putting a little edge on the inside of this wall, that I came up with it because there was a lot of drips down the wall. When it rained and water get on the top, it would drip down. So we put a little edge a little higher on this side so that when it rains, none of the drips come down on the brand new painted fence. So there is not one drip on this fence, and it's been raining a lot. So that really worked out well. And George did a good job making it happen. So I like that, man. You come up with an idea, you don't know if it's gonna work or not, but it worked pretty good, man. You see it. The proof is in the pudding. Went to, I'm gonna give a detailed thing about banks and how much it costs to supply money from America. It'll give you an idea of how much it will be to do it from some other country also. I'm quite sure it'll be similar. Might not be exact, but it might be exact depending on if you use Wells Fargo, you'll know exactly what's going on. So I'm gonna give 3 different ways to supply money here, and then maybe it'll help you decide how you're gonna supply yourself. I advise, not like me, I was planning on having 2 ways, but you know, the Express Send for Wells Fargo worked so good for so long, I just decided not to do the other one. Plus, at first I didn't have the ACR card, which I'll explain everything right now. So, just following up on the three ways really that if you want to retire to the Philippines or overseas, there are three good ways to send yourself money, you know, from your retirement, you know, Social Security or whatever. You know, my advice is to keep your American bank account and keep an address in America where you're going to, technically you're going to stay there, you know, occasionally, and just most of the time you're going to retire in the Philippines or whatever country you pick. So I'm going to start out with the worst way, and which I did this on vacation, and it was the most costly way. You could use an ATM, but there's some things about that. Is $5 on each end approximately, so depending on your bank, your country. So $5 the ATM charge in the Philippines and $5 in the US. So, and the maximum you can get is 10,000 pesos from the ATM in a 24-hour period. So that's a big deal right there, because today's exchange rate is 56. So that's only $178.57 a day. So when we were here on vacation, I brought money with me, but I found out that that was true, so I started supplementing before I ran out of money that I had in my pocket. So it was not a problem. But if you get here, you don't know about that, and you can only get $178 a day. You know, you cannot get here and then book a hotel correctly unless you got, you know, you got credit cards probably if you're traveling, if you're on vacation. Anyway, I regress. Some places don't take credit cards, by the way, here, but most of the major motels and stuff do. So that's a $5 charge in and out, and you can only get 100. So every $178 costs you another $10. So that's the most expensive way right there, and I don't recommend that because, you know, it's hit and miss around here whether the ATM works. So, you know, I see other vloggers travel, they might hit 3 or 4 or 5 ATMs that don't work before they finally run into one that does. But I only ran into, like, you know, had to skip a couple one time when I was here on vacation. I don't advise that. And the next way is global remittance. And global remittance, through Wells Fargo, I don't know about the other banks now, through Wells Fargo, they had Express Send. And it worked well for me the whole time I was here, but you can't get over $10,000 a month without triggering some, I mean, you can't, from Express Send, you can only get $10,000 a month, period. But you could get more if you set it up ahead of time, I believe, but that's all you can get, you know, off the cuff. So, you can only get, it's really you can only get about 9,000 because you can only get 3,000 a time, and you can only do it 3 times a month. So that's really 9,000, and it's every rolling 30 days. Like if it's, in the last 30 days you had 3 extractions for 3,000, you got to wait until there's one of those falls off that 30-day rolling 30 days. So that is what I used the whole time I was building this house, and I brought some cash with me to help supplement the build, which I used all of and barely came out of it, and it was actually a pretty good timing right there as far as how much I was going to need. You know, I had a couple emergency $10,000 emergency overrun and another $10,000 emergency overrun built into the system that I created in the background, as far as deposits in the co-op here, and some money in the bank to buy my car and motorcycle so I could be mobile, so I could function, supply this bill. So, but last week, ExpressSend stopped working out of the blue. After working for a whole year, it doesn't work anymore. I have a hint that they changed it. You can only use Google Chrome operating system now, but I quickly put that on there and got that running, and ExpressSend still didn't work. So I'm still in the process of figuring that out, but I got alarmed. So I was going to set up my own bank account, and I brought plenty of checks with me to deposit a check every 30 days and get it rolling like that. So I never did it because you can't do it without an ACR card. So I went to the bank today, as you see me going to San Jose. And that was step 2 before. Step 3 is maintain a U.S. address and take checks with you and deposit them in the Philippines every 30 days or as you need them. So, but keep in mind there's 20 to 30 days rollover time. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to deposit a check, but I went there and I found out everything you need. You need an ACR card, which I had. You need 2 forms of valid ID, which I got a Philippine driver's license and I got a passport. So I had that with me. But you also need a bill from electric company or water company or something showing that your real address, which is true in the U.S. too. They do that same thing. But I have that on PLDT, bills me in my name for the cable here, for the Wi-Fi in the South. So I'm going to get a copy of that bill and take with me back Monday. So I needed that, and you also need a barangay clearance to prove that you are a resident of the barangay. So that's all I needed. Oh, and you need a 1x1 photo. That's it. So I had 2 things, but I didn't have 3. You need 5 things. So you need ACR card, 2 forms of ID, a 1x1 picture with a black or white background, and then you need barangay clearance, and you need a bill with your name on it, where you paid a bill in the showing that you're a resident and you're paying bills. So there you go. So I can do it, and there's another rule too. Also, you have to deposit. It's going to be a dollar account. I advise that you can get a dollar or a peso account, but if you get a peso account and you deposit your U.S. check and it goes and Wells Fargo gets it and transfers it back to your bank account in pesos, they can charge 4% to 10% surcharge. So say they're giving 60 pesos for $1. So they can charge you 10% and only give you in exchange 54 pesos instead of 60. That's 10% subtracted from the 60. So I didn't like that idea. So because there's all kinds of different exchange rates around, and sometimes one is better than the other. Actually, my bank's is pretty good. So I would rather just get it there in dollars. So I opened up a dollar account. But to open up a dollar account, you have to deposit some US dollars, like at least $20, and I don't have any. All I got is pesos now. So you can buy those, money changers. I can go buy a $20 bill with some pesos. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I can just deposit that 20 with, the minimum it takes, like 500 to keep the account clear, with no surcharges. So I'll deposit the check and along with that 20 to make it a dollar account. And then a waiting game after that. I got online banking at my bank in America, so I will see when the deposit is clear from that bank. I'll see how long it takes and all that. And I'll let y'all know about all that. To me, that's the best way because, there's only a $5 charge for that check. But you can get $9,999 without triggering any IRS thing, as long as you don't go over 10,000. Which, I just get 9,900 or something. Leave 100 buffer for charges or something like that. So there you go. That's the best way. Instead of 3 times $4 a pop on ExpressSend, that's what the number 2 thing was that I was doing. You go get $3,000, it costs $4,000 to send it. But it's as soon as you do it, it's automatically there. I can do it on the computer. By the time I get down to the bank, it's already there. So that's a good thing. So it's fast like that. So, but I mean, if they're going to start moving, oh, you can only use this operating system, which is not very smart by Wells Fargo, by the way, and ExpressN. I mean, all people have all kinds of different operating systems, and I prefer Firefox. I like the way it's set up. I don't like Microsoft or Google Chrome. I don't like them because, well, they got so many you can't even function on there. And all the pop-ups hitting you. It's like you're in a freaking war zone, man. Always begging you with these pop-ups. It's irritating. So that's why I like Firefox. So I think I'm gonna try to still set up Google Chrome in the background and try to set it up so I can still use ExpressN if I want to, but I'm not going to use it anymore because I don't really need much money anymore. So that's it from 62. To give you an update on that, so to refresh the ATM with $10 charges and you only get $178. $10 charges, you can only do it once a day. So the second option is global remittance, like ExpressN from Wells Fargo, which charges you $4 for $3,000, which you can only do 3 times a month, which is a grand total of $9,000. Or you can bring your own checks as you retire in here, maintain a U.S. address, live there a little bit every once in a while, and then just deposit a check every once a month, and it's a $5 charge for that. And you can get $9,900 safely. So there it is. That's 3 ways. I'm sure there's plenty more ways, but 62 don't know everything in the world. I just know a lot of stuff. I don't know everything. So I don't know anything about some stuff, and I know everything about some other stuff, like programming, making anything out of metal that you want to make. I can do that. I can basically make an aircraft carrier. I just can't put it together. I can make all the parts. I don't, that's not part of what I'm not no knuckle buster. So I'm not no outside machinist because, I didn't like getting into grease, really, to tell you the truth. I much prefer, I fancied myself when I was younger, I was an artist. So when I heard the inside machinist, that's kind of like a horizontal potter's wheel, making a shaft with all the radiuses. It's kind of like art. So I fancy myself an artist. And you've seen the bird I drew on there. So I drew a lot more stuff, and maybe I'll show y'all something else. Like maybe I'll show you a portrait that I drew. I'll see you on the flip-flop and the fall back and everything else. So up here, where George made the garbage container up there, it worked out really well. They came by, I just had a box sitting on top of it, so they found it, and they just automatically, it's got an opening in it so you can see that there's something in there. So it's like a viewing window, so the cat can't get in there, but the garbage man can see. So George did a good job on this because that was a big problem to me. Animals spreading the garbage around. So I didn't like that. So this is a lot more sanitary, and it worked out really well. They got all the garbage out of there. It's just a little bit in there. So I do see some maggots down there. I think the ants will take care of that. They're already working on it. Well, every once in a while I'll put some Clorox in here. So we made some vent holes, and this is the viewing window I told you about. They can see, oh yeah, something's in there. But the cat can't get in there. The dogs can't get the garbage. That's better than good. I like it. I like it. So it's not the best looking thing in the world, but it ain't the worst either. So there you go. And ants and the fly larvae. Let's be nice. Let's not say the M word. The fly larvae and the ants are gonna have a symbiotic relationship. The flies can get in there and have some place to lay their eggs, and the ants can have something to eat. I see they already ate a couple of them. So one day soon, I'm gonna clean up this slope. So, you know, already, you know, if it rained on the slope, I was hoping that it would just wash it down so I could just walk in a road along the fence here. But it looked like I'm gonna have to fetch it. So that way, if this was a slope that just went straight to the ocean, you know, this stuff they throw off the street would just rinse right down there, which is how a lot of the garbage gets there. You know, a subscriber mentioned that, and I agree. You know, when it rains real hard, stuff washes down the river, into the river, and then down the river, and then down the shore. Oh, it really looked good. That looks really good. Woo! Oh, the hot tip.